When we tune into our being, it's more than our body and our breath and the thoughts in our mind. So let's start there. It's an integrated experience of our body, our breath, the thoughts in the mind, the energy in our bodies, our memories, experiences, personality, beliefs. All of that is definitely part of our experience. And there's something here that's permanent, it's not changing. Might be a sense of ourselves as we knew ourselves and looked in the mirror when we were 5 or 25 or 85. As you come into your heart, what is your sense right now in this moment of that timelessness, that sense of your being? Consciousness, there are a lot of words that people might use, but whatever your felt sense is of that, tune into that for a moment. And notice if you can feel into that sense of stillness, that sense of stillness at the core of your being. And then bring your attention to your body and what's happening in your body. Notice if your body feels tight, loose, relaxed, contracted, restless. There's so many experiences we have in our body on an overall basis. And then we have the different parts of our body. We might have our teeth clenched or our shoulders, move them around, let them settle away from the ears. There's so many different ways that we could become aware of our body, of sensations. So, without losing that sense of your being, notice the space your body is occupying and what's happening in that space. You notice sense perceptions like the feeling of the air as it flows through your nose. The air on your skin, the warmth of your clothes. Some things are coming to our attention because they're irritating or uncomfortable. If you were wearing an itchy wool sweater, you would notice that. But there's those things that are always here. The sense of pressure, I suppose, would be one word on the back of our body. We can feel where our seat is on a chair or our whole back body is on the floor or a bed. There's a certain sensation there. And if we wiggle our toes and tighten and then release the muscles in our legs, creates a ripple of sensation. So we could always do that. We could move our body around a bit. What does it feel like when you bring your shoulders up around your ears and do a few shoulder rolls or stretch your body in some way? And we always can notice the feeling of our body that moves with our breath. As we're breathing, we could notice what does that activate in different parts of the body. If we're frightened or anxious or stressed, often the feeling will be kind of tight, more up in the top part of the chest. We might be holding our breath. We breathe in, and then we kind of hold, and then we breathe out. And so we have a very distressed breath at times. And at other times, we have that beautiful, smooth, continuous breath. We're bringing in enough air to really nourish our body. Our chest and stomach are relaxed. There's lots of room for the breath. And as we breathe out, we could let the whole of our body relax and soften. Keep your attention focused on that for a bit. As soon as you get to the end of the exhale, notice that our body wants to breathe in. This is an autonomic process that we don't control, although we can certainly pay attention to it and help create better conditions for it. And when our chest and back are really tight and our stomach is clenched, it's hard for our body to breathe. And then let go. Let that whole area of your body soften as you breathe out. Notice how your belly softens and moves back towards the spine as you finish the exhale. And how much easier it is to let the muscle fibers in your stomach lengthen and expand with the in breath when they're soft and relaxed. Let your whole body settle. And maintain some awareness of your being, that timelessness or that part of you that's not so affected by the comings and goings of the mind, of the world. We have an intimate relationship with our body, our breath, and our awareness of the body and breath. And often, what disturbs that intimacy is the thoughts in the mind, the tightness in the body. So let's just look at that. Let yourself rest. Let your mind focus on the breath and on that awareness of what's happening in your body. And then let's look at thoughts directly for a bit. If you were situated behind your head, watching as thoughts come and go in the brain, let's see what's going on there right now. So, thoughts come in as words that we hear. Sometimes we can put words into like a mental image of the letters. They come in as images, could be a doodle, a still picture, a video clip. And when we first start really paying attention, it's behind the forehead as though thoughts are appearing on a screen or in that area of the brain just behind the forehead. Let's watch and see what comes and goes. There's a bit of a gap usually at first. Maintain awareness that you're watching thought. And at some point, thoughts will come in. And a lot of thoughts are pretty neutral. They don't really get our attention. We could just watch and then see what the words and pictures are, and then notice that they go back into silence. And through all of that, we could maintain that awareness of our body as it moves with the breath, of letting the whole of our body soften and relax, letting go of the tight spots. Continue to watch as thought comes. Some thoughts have a lot of resonance in the body. There's a reaction to the thoughts in our body. If you were to think of a beautiful, warm day when you are relaxing somewhere that you feel safe, a garden, forest, a beach, with a friend, and really visualize that, bring that to mind. We often notice there's a softening, a relaxing to our whole body. And the same is true of things that are uncomfortable or scary. And there's a lot of fear in the atmosphere right now. Some of it's personal, some of it's to do with other people and with our humanity as a whole. And just hearing those words might have tightened something up in your body, or your breath might have caught a bit. As you're exhaling and inhaling, let yourself be aware of the thoughts in your mind and everything that's coming and going in the space that your body is occupying. Head to toes. Notice the whole back of your body, back of your neck, your shoulders, your upper back. Let your arms and legs rest back. Notice the back of your legs and thighs, calves, the heels, back of your shoulders, arms, hands. Maintain that awareness of your being, of consciousness, of that timelessness that's within all of us. Notice the warmth of your breath as you exhale, the softening as your belly releases any tension and comes back to the spine. Let your mind rest as well. Oftentimes we go off into the future, especially right now when there's so much uncertainty. So, right now in this moment, let your mind be still. We could give ourselves that opportunity to rest. And there might be thoughts going on in the mind, and then there's the awareness of our thoughts. Sometimes we get kind of hooked and we get into a train of thought and then we come back. We could cultivate patience. That often happens when we're scared. The mind gets really busy trying to help us by figuring it out, predicting all of the horrible things that could happen and how we could prevent being hurt. And there is a place for our conscious mind to work on how to keep ourselves safe. But often this is the primitive brain, just that reactivity. There's danger. We need to do something. So right now, as we're coming back with kindness and patience, we could reassure ourselves. Right now, we're just resting. Resting for another 5 minutes would actually really help. We could let our body have that experience. Slow, even breath, softening muscles, awareness of the thoughts in the mind without getting too engaged in them. Notice as they come and go. And maintaining awareness. Awareness in the sense of noticing, being attentive and attuned, and also awareness in that sense of what it is that never changes, of the timeless, of that part of us that's not scared. And maintain this awareness of your whole body, head to toes, and everything that's going on in that space. The movement of your body as you breathe, thoughts coming and going in the mind, energy and sensation in your body. And as we're resting, we notice sometimes things come up that disturb our rest a bit. And then we could let that settle. It might be a thought that caught our attention or an energy in our body. If it's something kind of insistent, we could work with tapping or noticing the space around the energy. Oftentimes, just to notice it is enough. And then we bring our attention back in, let ourselves rest. Before we finish this practice, set your intention, if you like, to come back in to rest in awareness of the timeless. Let yourself really settle in. You might come back to that many, many times during the day or before you go to bed tonight when you wake up in the morning. There's so much momentum in the exterior world that it tends to get our attention. And then we come back and we rest. And we touch in with that part of us that's never damaged. It's always fine. That sense of our own heart, our own basic goodness, our true nature, but without the words. And open your eyes while you maintain that awareness. Notice who it is that's looking out of your eyes. It's aware of your body, of the end of the practice, that shift in energy as we begin to move into something else.